said it was Europe, not the United States, that should be responsible for Ukraine's security. President Zelensky is due to fly to Washington on Friday. We'll be live in Kyiv, but first, Sarah Smith in Washington was our top story. And deal with Ukraine. It's not a peace deal, bro, but a financial deal to benefit America. President Zelensky is going to be coming on. President Trump kicked off his first cabinet meeting by announcing an imminent Friday. That's now confirmed, and we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. The previous administration put us in a very bad position, but we've been able to make a deal where we're going to get our money back, and we're going to get a lot of money in the future. More than $350 billion for America, he says, without making any promises to protect Ukrainian territory. Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, we're talking about Europe is the next door neighbor. I know that UK has said and France has said that they volunteered to put so-called peacekeepers on the site, and I think that's a good thing. And President Trump wants a large stake in the future exploitation of these resources to repay the military support. The U.S. President Zelensky wants guarantees for the future security of Ukraine is rich in rare earth minerals, this country, without future is already given to Ukraine. But security guarantees, we will not have really justice, and we will not have really ceasefire, what Trump spoken about. And if we don't have it, nothing will work. Donald Trump has dealt with Vladimir Putin many times. Sessions President Putin. Yeah, he will. He's going to have to. And I believe that because we got elected, that war will come to an end. And I also believe if we didn't get elected, if this administration didn't win the election by a lot, that war would go on for a long time, and he would want to take the whole thing before, and recently spoke to him on the phone about Ukraine. Today, he described Mr. Putin as a smart and a cunning man who he believes will agree a deal over Ukraine. You have to make understand. Russia will not get to keep all the territory it has seized by force, suggested Mr. Trump. And we're going to do the best we can to make the best deal we can for both sides, but for Ukraine, we're going to try very hard to make a good deal so that they can get as much back as possible. President Trump's ambitions for making peace also extend to the Middle East. Donald, stop it to set you free. He posted this bizarre AI-generated video on social media. It appears to show an imagined, rebuilt post-war Gaza, complete with golden Trump statues and beachfront properties. Face them there. According to the White House, the president did not create this video, nor did anyone on their team. But he did pin it to the top of his feet. In the real world, the road to Ukrainian peace currently runs through the White House. After the French president's visit earlier this week, Keir Starmer will be here tomorrow before President Zelensky arrives on Friday, with Ukraine's future and America's relationship with Europe all up for discussion. Sarah Smith, BBC News, Washington. We're going to have more from Sarah in a moment, but first, James Waterhouse is live in Kyiv. James, some are wondering, without U.S. security guarantees, what exactly is Ukraine getting out of this deal on minerals? Clive, it doesn't feel like the start of a meaningful peace process to end a raging war. It feels like a cross between a business venture and some kind of trade deal. We heard from government sources yesterday that an agreement had been reached on the mineral deal, and so we assembled at the presidential palace today to find out what the details of that deal were. And we simply heard President Zelensky there say he hoped it would lead to knock-on agreements that could potentially lead to security guarantees. It sounds complicated, but everything is linked. Without a mineral deal will rely on a ceasefire, and a ceasefire will rely on security guarantees from America. That is why President Zelensky is continuing to engage with the White House in this way. But on this visit, you wonder what is going to be achieved on the Ukrainian side. Is he going to sign a piece of paper, or is this about meeting Donald Trump before he meets Vladimir Putin? He said he's going to be direct. He said he's going to ask him straight, are you going to keep supporting Ukraine or not? And there's also the other chance that if Donald Trump tries to impose a ceasefire deal that is unacceptable in the eyes of President Zelensky, that doesn't meet the interests of his country, then he won't sign it. And that would have implications for how this war is fought, the future of Ukraine, and what Europe does alongside it. Yeah, well, Sarah, on the face of it, this seems to be a win-win for Donald Trump. Access to Ukraine's minerals worth billions of dollars, but no security guarantee for Ukraine. Yeah, Donald Trump likes to think of himself as a peacemaker, but he is really a deal maker first and foremost. And if he's right about what's in this minerals deal, it's the deal of the century. I mean, America will be recouping 4 times, maybe more, the value of the assistance that they've given to Ukraine in military support, as well as securing future access to these critical resources which are required for technological development. Now, hopefully on Friday we'll see a bit more detail of the deal and we'll be able to see whether it really is as good as it sounds for Donald Trump and for America. Yeah, and Keir Starmer, he'll be at the White House tomorrow, seemingly in agreement with Donald Trump that it's Europe that must shoulder more of the security burden for Ukraine. Yeah, he's going to tell Donald Trump that he agrees that Europe needs to step up on the global security stage and take on more responsibility. And of course, he'll be able to tell him that he's committed to spending more on the British military to take part in that. Harder message to deliver is to say that the UK doesn't believe that there can be any negotiations about the future of Ukraine without Ukraine being involved. And he has to somehow deliver that message without in any way being seen to disagree with or contradict Donald Trump, certainly not in public. There's other things to talk about as well.